In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to create a new adapter or a virtual identity server adapter, new connection to a different data source. My current configuration, as you can see, has two connections. One to Active Directory, which is OU equals AD, and one to our VIS config, or our system VISA as we also refer to it. So to do the change, we bring up our management console, click on the VIS Configuration button. Again, all of our changes are going into a single XML file. The GUI makes it a whole lot easier to make these changes. So I'm going to put the second directory that I'm going to connect to as an ADLDS instance. I'm going to go ahead and put it in this primary VISA set along with AD so that maybe I could join potentially in the future. We typically do not recommend putting any other VISAs down in the system VISA set, just leaving that alone just for the VIS config instance. So I'm going to go ahead and right click or alternate click on the VISA, give it a name. This is going to have my external users, so I'll just go ahead and call it external users. Note it populated those within these, put a search order of 2 automatically, and is also letting me know that I do need to create the connections and the bind profile. So those are highlighted in yellow, letting me know that. So the first thing I should do is choose what type of directory it is. So ADS is for Active Directory, ADM is for, or ADLDS here in my particular case. So now what I'm going to do is do the Discover button. Of course, also notice Save XML file is shown here, saying that I do need to make some save changes. I'm going to go ahead and do Discover here. That instance is actually running on 50,000 is the port number. So I click Discover. Notice it pulled the GUID from ADM and also gave it the namespace. So we have the root of the partition. I could change that if I wanted to. I click Save here. That go ahead and saves the changes to memory. Again, Save XML. When I do that, we'll save the XML file, back it up with the current date timestamp so that we have a change. I recommend not choosing the Save XML until after you've made all of your changes. Like I have 2 more changes I have to make here. Go ahead and make all the changes and then click Save XML. That way you'll have just the change before and after. So, read schema from VIS ID. This basically says where should VIS get the schema. I do want to pull in the schema from ADM or ADLDS in this particular case. Enabled is good because we do want it enabled. It's not a system VISA, but it is a critical VISA. So critical meaning if this VISA cannot be reached at startup, then the product should not start up. So let's go ahead and create our connection. Again, right click or alternate click VISA connection. It's done this. Local host is running locally here. We talked about the ports of 50,000 and 50,001 for SSL. Connection order of 1. Again, connection order is 1 signifies that it's the primary connection to a directory. Anything other than a 1 would be a failover connection. So we could here, if you see this, right click create connection, I could create a second or a failover connection to a replica of this ADLDS. I'm not going to cover that right now. You can see our videos on high availability failover for how we would go ahead and configure that. So the last thing that I pretty much need to do here is our bind profile. So I'm going to go right click again, alternate click, bind profile. So what bind account are we going to connect over to the ADLDS instance? In this particular case, I'm going to do it as administrator. So go ahead and provide the bind credentials, the passwords. Successful bind, test permissions. This is making sure it can read the configuration partition, getting the schema, DIT, any of that information. Initial connection pool 2 to 50. That's fine for my purposes. I don't need to do any tweaking there. Okay, I clicked Save, and you'll notice it says, please remember to add this new bind profile to any associated bind profiles. So this is for our VIS security groups. What I'm going to go ahead and do here is actually click Associate to all security, and it's actually going to do it to all of them. I only have 1. Let's go ahead and check on that, make sure it did it. So here I go to my VIS admins group, and sure enough, there it is. It added it properly. So I should be ready to go. Save XML. That now has backed up my XML file, made the changes to the XML file. Click Close, and we'll do a restart of the service. So it's now going to incorporate those new changes, have a connection over to the ADLDS instance, and we should now see the new set of users. So Obviously now it stopped. The gears indicate that the service is starting back up. It's now green, so now let's flip over. I think we do have LDAP Manager up and running. We're going to click on the top node, do a refresh, and here's our external users. So we have a whopping 1 user, Joe Cool, and we can see that we have both a connection to AD now, as well as this external users directory. So we now have set up a new VISA. We also have additional videos covering other VISA adapter types, such as SQL Server, so please check out those videos if you need assistance there.